Have you heard Lord Jamar's comments on his opinions of, white rappers and hip hop?
I've read a couple things or whatever.
He said to Vlad, he was like that white people basically are, or white rappers are guests in the house of hip hop. And, that this came in light of, Macklemore rising, to the top. And now you have guys like Jeezy, you've been in the hip hop game yourself. Do you feel as though you've been a guest, or do you feel as though hip hop is kind of just like a universal thing that's accepting of anyone?
Look, hip hop music started as black culture. So I understand his sentiment, especially at the level, like we just said, where it's at right now, where it's been bastardized and turned into this, like I said, hybrid version of what, it's supposed to be. So I understand the frustration, especially of a legendary dude like Lord Jamar. I mean, Brand Nubian was one of those groups that, I hold up here. That being said, I don't think it's white people's fault. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of a bigoted viewpoint, So, I mean, whatever it is, I understand his frustration with the direction of hip hop, but, pinning it on white people, to me is, it's racist. I think it needs to be acknowledged, though, that, it is a black culture. So I think certainly anybody else, not just white people, is kind of a guest. That being said, there's been so many people across the board who've added to the culture, from graffiti artists to breakdancers to DJs to MCs, from all races. And, I just think you enter a dangerous zone when you try to exclude that or try to act like that didn't happen. That being said, there's certainly a lot of people from all races who've done their fair amount of damage to bring the culture to where it's at now. Black, white, Puerto Rican, everything. There's plenty of people across the board who've kind of brought it to its current state.
Definitely. What are your thoughts on the impact that Macklemore has had on hip hop?
I'm not a fan of his music, but more power. I respect how difficult it is to come up through an independent channel like that and reach the level that he's reached, and I understand why he appeals to a wide spectrum of people. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not something that I listen to.
Do you think that if he didn't touch on certain subject matters, such as, gay equality and stuff like that, that he wouldn't have reached the level of success?
I mean, I don't think it's any question he wouldn't have reached that level of success without touching on those. That's what blew him up, is kind of, advocating for certain issues that weren't being spoken about. And there's a place for that in hip hop because that's a big part of culture. And, I think it's a noble thing if it's done genuinely. Now, did he do it genuinely, or is he doing it to kind of capitalize on those hot button issues? I mean, only, he knows in his heart. And to me, other artists do what they do, and, more power to them, but I'm just trying to do me.